have to say that these players are doing a lot of work here. They really need to stay focused for a long time, and it's not an easy task. I can attest personally when I remember from my experience back in Utrecht playing a big and large tournament. It is grueling to play for a long time. But we can see the commanders.
And you've mentioned the Utrecht, where you on the modern you were playing the Orzhov Blink.
Orzhov Blink,
and
baby.
one of our commanders that we are going to see is the card that you are very familiar with.
Yeah, my love child, the thing that made me fall in love with the deck and really made me say like, okay, I was thinking about Ruby Storm before that, but this really made me say yes, I'm playing Blink, and yes, I'm going to, well, I hope to win it there.
And
I
it's
did
also
not,
God.
but it's great. It's a
Does it
god.
mean you're interested in gods?
Might be. A bit of Egyptian mythology.
So if you're not a god, don't even talk to you.
Yeah. You need to be God.
But on the other side, there's going to be Frog, Wizard, and also Noble.
Yeah, I think he is his own god, honestly. Glarb is only a god of his own.
He's himself as a god.
Absolutely.
The god of Sultai, god of Sultai control.
Yes, we will see a lot of value on both sides actually.
Yes.
Both decks are going to play for a lot of value. More particularly, Glarb will have access to counter spells and some ramp. Ketramose will have access to like exile effects and other stuff. But both of these decks really want to grind out the game.
Yes. And who is going to grind it more? We're about to see. The interesting thing about Glarb is that it only doesn't have counter spells and some ramp. The main thing, it's why it is good, is that you can play cards from the top of your library, and the word play is really important here, because you can make sure that all those lands that are on the top of your library are being played, and everything else you are just getting either binned from his surveil ability, or you can cast it.
The card is just crazy good. I remember when I played it in Limited when it came out, just in a pre-release, and it felt so stupid good. And I believe that we will see how dominant Glarb can really be in a game.
Yes.
When you use it to get a land, get a creature, and then maybe some interaction on top.
The interesting thing is that sometimes you get the mana open and the counter spell on the top of your library, so you don't need to have it in your hand to be able to answer some cards like Skyclef Apparition, which is in the Ketramose's hand right now.
Yes, absolutely. And Ketramose is going to basically be enjoying a lot of exile effects and thus a lot of card draw. That is the main idea behind playing Ketramose. I can also see the Witch Enchanter, I believe, which is a nice card. Demonic Tutor.
Yes.
Yeah, and there is the Artifact Lands. Which this is one of the only couple of places where you can actually play these things.
Yes.
Okay.
Answered with Underground
This is
Sea
the
and Pass.
Guile. This is the Kaya's Guile, I believe.
This is Kaya's Guile.
That is also a nice card that can do a lot for
and
the deck.
that can exile, which is
There
something
is-
you're interested about.
There is Manatite, by the way.
Ooh.
I can see Manatite, which
And on the other side, there's Force Spike.
I
So quite similar effects, but
Actually,
different
mirror
colors.
yeah, that is the Mishra's Foundry, I believe.
So there's going to be a little bit of Stare of Death.
Okay, they are
Everybody
just,
holding their 1 mana counter spells.
just playing stuff.
And this Mystic Sanctuary is not going to bounce some card from your
there will be
graveyard.
no advantage from it, but still there are some options. Now, a tapped Witch Enchanter, so that's the Witching Meadow or something.
Yes.
That's the other side, the land. Witch Blessed Meadow.
The main thing is we're probably not going to be destroying some artifacts or enchantments
Most likely no.
if there isn't something like flicker effect to bring it back on the creature
The
side.
fun thing in this match, I think we will have plenty of time to talk, just to have a lovely time spent together, Honza.
If you have something tasty, you, our viewers at home, some popcorn, something you really enjoy.
Maybe go and brew a cup of coffee.
This is going
or
to take some
tea.
time.
Yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy this peaceful dual commander game where the first blood will be drawn from a fetch land on turn 4. And actually the first spell might be even played.
Yes. That's
Be-
true.
That's
Only-
Bajuka Bog, maybe?
Yes.
Looks like, okay, and that is the first
Probably.
blood. Turn 4 on side of Josef and no spell being played.
Yeah. You have the Mishra's Factory, but you are not even attacking.
The problem is, both of these decks are trying to have interaction.
Yes.
And if one of them tries to go for something...
And we know that it is in those hands.
Yeah.
On the side of Ketramose, I've seen the March of Otherworldly Light also.
Yeah. And mana and
the Demonic Tutor right now.
yeah, there is a lot of things that can be used and can be done. I believe that we will actually see a brutal game of attrition,
Yeah.
brutal game of control, and basically a long game of chicken.
Do you know what I want to see?
Tell me,
Sometimes when you are
a
playing...
spell maybe?
Yes, I would be... Please give me some spells. I need to see something else than lands. No, I'm interested in one thing. When you are playing these really interactive decks,
Yeah.
the stack can be really, really huge. When you are answering to counterspell with counterspell.
Okay, we are
and then
going to
answering
turn
something.
5, no spells.
Yes, and also another blood is going to be spilled because the Marsh Flats, the new ones, the full art ones from the Tarkir Dragonstorm special
Yeah,
guest
yeah.
print is also there.
I think that now both players have enough mana to try to go for their own play.
For anything.
Yeah, they can go for their own play and still have a piece of interaction.
I think that the Josef on the side of Ketramose is really trying to decide if he wants to go for the Demonic Tutor, but he knows there are going to be some counter spells.
Yeah.
And do you want to lose your Demonic Tutor?
On the other hand, if you don't play anything, are you winning anything by it?
Who's winning by
That's-
playing nothing?
That's an interesting question. Who's winning by not playing anything? Yeah, well, we are, that's true. Because we have more content for you guys.
And also you, our viewers.
Well, do you call it winning when you watch like 5 consecutive turns of just land pass, land pass?
No.
Are you winning, son? Yes.
It's the same case when you are playing like the tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons and something else, and your parents slam the door open and ask, "Are you winning? Have you won?" Nobody's
Yeah,
winning.
there
in this
is no
situation.
way to win in this situation. I think that, yeah, we will break the silence, so,
But the mana,
so to speak.
the lands have been tapped
And
for something.
that is a demonic something?
I think
I'm not
demonic
sure.
bargain. I guess.
Might be, and sink into stupor as
And
a
it might
reaction.
come
Yes,
back later.
it was a demonic bargain. So the spell will be used again. Remember, Josef kept up
The way the demonic bargain works is that it unlocks the Ketramose immediately because
Yeah.
you exile the top 13 cards of your library.
Although the bad thing is that in the top 13 cards could just be the thing you're looking for.
Yes. It's just unlocking the true potential of Ketramose.
That's true, that's true. And actually, it is quite hard sometimes to deal with Ketramose, especially if you don't have white.
Yes.
Because if Ketramose resolves, there is not a lot of option for Josef to deal with.
Yes. Right now, I realized it's interesting matchup because it's Josef versus Josef.
That's true. I was saying Josef all the time, and I did not realize
Me
that
too,
both
me
of
too.
them have the same name. Okay, so let's.
Luckily, they don't have the same decks. That would be a total
That's
hell to comment.
Okay, 3 mana Glarb.
But
That is a good way to play it because
there is the March. You really need and the Force Spike.
I know, but he kept up 1 mana to have either Force Spike and also 1 mana to pay for the Mana Leak.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So most likely in this situation, because you tried to exile the top 13 cards of your library, you are going to be punished by your
Might
opponent
be,
resolving
might be.
Glarb.
Yeah,
And the
Glarb
Glarb is here,
Resolved.
and also there's been given the free information of
there
what's on the
might
top of the
be,
library.
yeah, there might be an attempt to deal with Glarb, I suppose.
It must be
There,
answered as fast as you can, because if you don't answer the
well, the
Glarb,
Kaya's Guile can really
Yes.
deal with that. And there is also the backup of having the March. So there are options, 100%. Or even the Skyclave, like half the hand
but is
answers.
spending your whole turn and your whole mana to just destroy and get rid of the Glarb good enough because in hand of the other Josef, of the Glarb player, there might be some other threat.
I agree, but if you keep the
And
Glarb
if you
on
are
board,
only answering the threats, you are in fact doing nothing for your own plan.
that is
And
true.
that is why the Skyclef operation
It
comes
could
to the
help
table.
a little bit, but it's true that because the Ketramose Josef tried to deal with
The interesting thing how
okay.
it works, there is 3 noted, but it
Yeah,
doesn't work like
it
that.
doesn't work that
If you
way.
decide to put your commander back in the command zone, the Skyclef operation sees no card in exile, so it will give you no token when it dies. Right
That's
now,
true.
it's just a vanilla 2/2.
which actually makes it even better
Yes.
when you target commander with it. Okay, so now Ketramose Josef managed to deal with the Glarb, and on the side
demonic
of
tutor.
Josef, it's just a demonic tutor to find some goods. It will most likely resolve.
On the side of the Ketramose, you are prepared to answer creatures.
Yeah,
and there is also one very, very specific interaction that is nice with Skyclef operation. I've seen
Ephemerate.
the Ephemerate.
The Ephemerate is there, and
So basically, no
is
creature on the
pretty
side
nice.
of Glarb is going to be sticking on the battlefield.
I think that even though it looks like, I don't want to say it looks very good for the Ketramose player.
It doesn't look very good for neither of the
Yeah,
players.
but I feel a slight advantage. Just
And
a
I've
slight,
seen the
slight
tutored card.
advantage.
It was the combo card. It was the card that has won the last round to Matouš Pavlovský-Fiala. Do you remember what the last play was?
Was it the Tendrils?
No, it wasn't the Tendrils.
Jace?
It was yes.
Jace, Wielder
It
of
was
Mysteries.
the Jace Wielder of Mysteries is right now in the Glarb hand. So
So there is the
it's
angle of just
fantastic
going
that
for
you have
this.
the answers, but if you somehow you feel too overconfident,
Okay, thoughts.
ooh, and
yes.
this is bad.
Now this will really probably get into it. Yeah, mental misstep is
Mental
the most
misstep.
logical answer here, and I don't think that Ketra Josef can do anything about it.
Ketra Josef, Ketra Glarb.
No, no, no,
Josef,
no.
Glarb Josef and Ketra Josef.
Yes, Ketra Josef and Glarb Josef. Get your Josefs straight.
Yes.
Okay, now there is a lot of options for Josef when it comes to dealing with creatures, but dealing with a combo, like playing Jace and then
Yeah.
just trying to go for
The answer
demonic
he
consultation
decided
is
to
not
go
there.
for is
Go face.
Go face. And you right now, with the Skyclef apparition and that factory, you have effective 3-turn clock.
Yes, absolutely. There is basically a way to win in 3 turns, and could really win. Yeah, there is just a recheck on the
This
demonic
is really
bargain.
nice, friendly thing that Ketra Josef is doing for his opponent,
Ooh.
and this is bad.
And then-
You've decided to go for the face, but the Thought Lash
Thought Lash. That is brutal.
says you can't. And this is
Mana
when
Tide.
Mana Tide is going to appear.
And it worked, my lord. Yeah. Getting dunked like this by Mana Tide is brutal. Because the Thought Lash is basically part combo and parts protection. It
From these
does
aggressive
so much.
styles, and right now it seems that the Ketramose decided to end the game via combat damage.
You have to. Well, you kind of always have to with the
Yes.
Ketra deck, but you have to really start swinging, because otherwise there is no way to win the long game against a combo deck. They will just get another option to
Right
do
now,
the combo.
I think that the overconfidence that can come to the Ketra Josef is, am I in good enough position to play Ketramose?
Yeah, that is something that could be a
speed the
bait.
clock.
That could be bait. I believe that could be a strong bait.
And it's something that can really be not helpful for him.
The unfortunate thing is that there is only a 2/2 on board, which means he needs to always pay 1 mana for the
Yes.
activation of the foundry.
But you have like 3 or 4 answers. There is also Remand on the side of the Glarb Josef.
Yeah.
So there are counter spells.
Yes, but there isn't much to on the side of Glarb
To
Josef
answer
to
the
deal
board state.
with the board state. I think there is a long thought process of, should I play the tutor? Should I try to go for attack? What can I do?
the thing when you are having the demonic tutor in your hand is really bad because
Ooh, and there is the Ketramose being played.
as I mentioned, this could be the
Okay.
moment you could try to get it to the battlefield.
Honestly, right now, Ketramose can just play black. Yeah, pay black, go for combat for 4,
Yes.
and have white mana for either the Ephemerate or the March.
Yes. And both of the cards are premium, but what he does not know is that the Glarb is having the counter spells, but
And there was just a pass.
he's just passing.
Just passing.
So this amount of pressure that Ketramose really created was huge for no answer,
Yeah.
no threat answered.
Although let's not forget, Ketramose is not online yet.
No, he's not. That's true. But do you remember one card that is in the
Yeah,
hand?
there is just, he can just pay 3 mana and
Yeah.
try to resolve a spell that will just make it online.
I guess that the life totals right now are not right. I
Yes,
think
yes,
they should
yes.
be at 8 damage. So we should be aware of it.
Yeah.
And right now,
Joseph with Glarb is at 8 right
this
now.
can be threatening lethal. If you unlock Ketra and
Yeah.
make alive the Mishra's Factory, that's straight 8 damage. And it can be fast. Like in a snap of a finger, your
Yeah.
opponent could be removed.
Yeah, we shall see how this goes.
And I've seen also, I guess, like Oko and the... Ooh.
Okay, there is Demonic Tutor being played.
And I think that the Demonic Tutor can go for even much more effective card that can unlock Ketramose.
Yeah, like a Relic of Progenitus, you're thinking? Okay, now there
Maybe.
was the life correction. Good. Ooh, and I can actually see a nice card that can just stop an attack, and that is
Yes.
the Cryptic Command.
Cryptic Command.
Cryptic Command can really... Cryptic Command can really do a lot, because it counters a spell if
Yes.
there is something being played,
Yes.
like the
I
Demonic
think
Tutor.
that's the decision right now on the side of Glarb.
I
Do
believe-
wants to counter the Demonic Tutor
I think-
and also stop the creatures from attacking.
I think you want to, because you basically solve 2 things with 1 card.
Yes.
There is a big decision. Okay, it does resolve. All right. Maybe the thought process
Question
is that...
for me
It
is Ketramose creature right now?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
It's always a creature. It just can't attack or block.
Yes, that's the issue. So it also
Although,
will be
on the
tapped.
other hand, the Mishra's Foundry, if I understand the board state correctly, is not a creature now.
Yes.
Because there was no mana tapped to play
And I
it.
think that was the thought process behind the Glarb Joseph, because if you answered with the Cryptic Command, countering the Demonic Tutor and tapping the Skyclave Apparition with Ketramose, there also
Yeah.
could be the Mishra's Factory attacking you.
Ooh, and
Probably
there is
for free.
Oko in hand.
Yes, I've mentioned it.
Yeah, sorry, I missed it. There is Oko
2
Thief of
Planeswalkers,
Crowns.
2 counter spells. It's not a bad hand for the
there
Glarb,
is a lot of
but
goods.
in this board state,
Yeah. Ketra Joseph has a lot of pressure. And
Yes.
that's the thing he needs to really push on.
that's the thing that helps him to be the one stating how is this game going.
Absolutely. Now there is the
Painland.
The pain. No, that's
Kind
that's
of.
the Cycle Land, right?
Yes.
The Horizon Land, as it's called.
Uh,
And there is the Relic of Progenitus in hand. So
Yeah.
we can just maybe.
so we know the card that's
that
been
was the
tutored
card he
for.
found. That shows you how strong the card is, because this is, as we said, Ancestral Recall. Yeah, so now we are going to see a lot of fun stuff.
Yes.
It was set to resolve, evidently.
And I think I'm really surprised that if you have the Cryptic Command, that is going to be
Yeah. Now
resolved.
there was the correction for the Foundry. Okay, there is a peak.
Everybody wants to do some peekaboo into your opponent's
a
hand.
sneak peek, yeah. Sneaky peeky. Now we will see what happens. Yeah, so peak is resolved.
Yes.
We can see Ephemerate, the Demonic Console,
And also the card is going to be
March, and then the Guile.
And the draw card.
And there is the draw, but right now the Ketra Joseph will get another
It was
card.
Boseiju.
Boseiju is a card.
And the Boseiju is the card that can answer the relic. But
That's not really the best way to do it because you can just in response sacrifice it.
Yes.
But it can answer the land.
I think that there is also right now the ability from the relic on the stack,
Yeah, the target player exiles a card.
and it's going to be
it resolves. So now Josef with Ketra loses his first life of the game.
Yeah, to your own trigger, but it's quite sweet.
Absolutely.
Even if you can draw a card alongside with it.
Yeah, Ketra Josef is now in dominating position, honestly. They are doing great. Josef with Glarb is just trying to answer, and honestly, it's always like
And
half
I
a
think
turn
that
behind.
this was the point that you wanted to exile everything.
Yeah,
he
right
spent
now-
1 mana and activating the Relic of Progenitus
So
just to make...
There is gonna be draw 3 cards and lose 2 life.
Yes.
Just to shortcut it and just to really quickly explain, a Relic of Progenitus says exile, which it exiles itself, which triggers Ketramose. Then they lose a life and then they exile everything. Although I'm not sure how many cards Josef
this was the card
really
we
drew.
haven't mentioned. The
He just
Dismember.
drew 1 card. I think he missed like 2 of them.
Yes. And the Dismember
and-
right now...
Yeah, that was a good play, the Dismember. But then there was the... Okay, a reaction. Oh, that was a quick
Yes.
turn of events. There was a reaction with Ephemerate. Ephemerate was attempted to be exiled, countered by a
with
Force
Force
Spike,
Spike.
and it was paid for
But what
with
Josef
the land.
really forgot about
Yeah.
that the Mishra land
It's
is
still a land.
still.
But I believe, if I understood it correctly, that Ketra Josef just
Yes,
forgot to draw
he
2
missed
cards.
to draw 2 cards.
2 cards, not just 1. He forgot to draw 2 cards. We called it ancestral recall,
So-
and he just made it into a small joke.
If you have Relic of Progenitus and playing Ketramose right now, you are quite educated and know that when you activate that ability for 1 mana, you are actually
Yeah.
drawing 3 cards.
Kids, don't forget to draw your cards. It wins games.
So probably right now the Glarb is going to be on the play.
Yeah, 100%. Like you don't really choose anything else. I was surprised how, I know it sounds weird, but how quick the game actually turned
Yeah.
out to be.
If you remember, we've told you that we are going to be sitting here for like quite some time.
And it was only 20 minutes of gameplay.
Nearly 20 minutes, but if
Ooh.
we compare it to the games we've already seen or our feature match, this wasn't one of the fastest.
Yeah.
It was one of the average.
I can actually see... Oh, okay, so it was not a key from Josef.
Yes.
But I saw Tamil, which is a great turn 1 star.
There is a Fatal Push, Toxic Deluge.
And Guide of... Soul Guide Lantern, I think I see. Maybe no. No, Toxic Deluge I see. Fatal Push I see. That's the Graveyard Trespasser.
Yes, Graveyard Trespasser.
That is also a great card with Ketramose.
Are you trespassing the Ketramose's graveyard?
Well,
We don't think so.
you're trespassing Glarb's graveyard,
Yes.
probably.
The Graveyard Trespasser is maybe going if he's not counted.
It is a strong card because
she.
Ward... Yeah, it's probably her, but whatever.
Yeah.
But the ward discard a card is brutal. That's a crazy ability. Now I can see a lot of nice
There
cards.
is interesting card in the hand of Glarb, and it's changed the equation. And in this case, you are playing against white and black deck.
which is actually the colors that you can't really
Yes.
use for.
So
Okay.
it's just counter something smaller.
Alright. Lorien shall be revealed for Underground Sea.
Yeah. The elves were foreseeing, and the underground sea is going to the hand of the
I
Dwarf
actually am waiting for the moment when people will actually play the card for just 5 mana draw 3.
Joseph. Yes.
The island cycling or the basic land cycling is really strong on these cards.
It affected really a huge amount of magic formats.
Absolutely.
So
In
like the
Pauper,
Lord
they
of
are
the Rings
fantastic.
set was quite impactful.
Yeah. Especially the black one, the Troll of Khazad-dûm, which actually managed to be so good that I think in Legacy they had to do some adjustments because
Yes.
of it.
In some formats, these cards are banned, which
Yeah.
means They are pretty
I
good.
see Shieldred in the hand of
Yes, it is.
our Ketramose.
The thing I'm surprised about is Bojuka Book exiling only one card.
I know, it's not ideal. Okay, there is Exploration. Now just to vomit lands.
Yeah. The Frog Scouts of this Frog Noble Wizard really did some work, and
Yeah, they really explored. But I kind of understand playing Bojuka Book if you have nothing else to play at the start and you need the mana.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't really afford to just play a tapped land.
You're not that interested in getting the tapped land
Yeah.
the turn 2 or 3.
Actually, now when I think about it, the interaction between Glarb and Exploration is just great. You can
Yes.
just play 2 lands from the top
Yes.
of your library.
The issue is when you are playing Glarb without exploration is that you play the land from the top of your library and want to see something that you can cast.
Yeah.
But if it's the other land, you are not that happy. With exploration in play, you don't care that much.
Yeah, and-
And having like 3 or more lands stacked on top of your library can happen, but it's not that likely.
And even if it does, you have the tap surveil too.
Yes.
I think,
So you can make sure.
with this combination, you can never do something. Now,
This is the hymn to Turak.
Hymn of Turak, countered by Change the Equation. Now, that is a nasty card.
Yes.
Because Hymn of Turak, or Hymn to Turak, I believe,
Hymn to Turak.
it doesn't only discard 2, it discards 2 at random.
The priests plead for your anguish and pray for your despair, but when the equation changes,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah. Strixhaven knows how to deal with it.
It's
Now-
not the Strixhaven,
Oh?
it's the March.
Okay. But it says something from the Strixhaven taught you, and it is related to Strixhaven.
Yes, it's related. It was that sad when the invasion was really going on, so
Right,
it's from the
right.
part when invasion was going to the Strixhaven.
Now, regardless, there is the Graveyard Trespasser.
There is some time to go
and
trespassing.
the Trespasser will actually start to get... Okay, hold up.
Is he?
Ooh.
He is.
There is the new... what is it? Rashkan?
Rakshasas Bar.
Rakshasas Bargain.
Rakshasa, because Rakshasas are the demons in like the mythology that is connected with Tarkir.
Yeah, and the Sultai clan really worships them, let's
Yes.
say, or enjoys them.
So
They have some sort of interaction.
Rakshasas are some kind of the weird creatures with 4 heads, and
The
you know,
demons, right?
And there are demons, and we know that the demons can provide you something really useful.
Yeah.
Card Demonic Tutor reminds us of that, and Rakshasas Bargain also can provide really good amount of cards. It basically looks at the top 4 of your library cards, and you pick 2 best of them, and the rest will go to the
It
graveyard.
is a fantastic card. And actually, you know, just so we understand the hybrid mana there, the CMC is 6, which could be quite relevant for some cases.
Yeah.
But it went to exile. Bye-bye,
Yes,
bargain.
because it's been played in reaction of playing the Graveyard Trespasser, and when the Graveyard Trespasser hit the battlefield, it immediately said Rakshasas Bargain is going away.
Yeah, unfortunate thing for Ketramose is the fact that there are no creatures in Glarb's graveyard,
Yes.
which could be nicer to just deal more damage.
Yeah.
But it also does the ability on attack. And also, don't forget, right now it's daytime.
Yeah.
And it's going to be either daytime or night time
This is
for the rest
something
of the game.
For the rest of the game. And tracking this, especially when you are not having the token that helps you with
Yeah.
that, is really bad. The things that happen is, in the moment that no card is being played
By the active player.
by the active player. Ooh, I see a really nice card in hand of the Ketramose, and it's
that-
the addition from the Duskmourn, the 1 mana artifact that is
Yeah.
hugely played, probably like
It
on
is
all
in
the
standard.
formats,
In standard, in combination with Ketramose, it is played, Ghost Vacuum. But on the other side, I see the nemesis of Ketramose, Orcish Bowmasters. Because Orcish Bowmasters are brutal when you have Ketramose on your side, as every single card draw basically deals 2 damage to you,
Yes.
or snipes some creatures,
And the army grows.
army grows.
And at one point, the army is big enough that it can block your Ketramose and
Well,
don't
there is
die.
the menace thing, but still,
Yes.
you're right.
We were talking about the Lord of the Rings set, really making huge impact
Yeah.
on the format from the island cycling
Absolutely.
cards for each color. And Orcish Bowmasters is another addition from that set that
Yeah.
really provides. And you can be really 100% sure that both players are having Orcish Bowmasters
I
in
would
their library.
highly doubt that you would just choose not to include
And
it.
there was Fetch into
Fetch into
Fatal
Fatal
Push.
Push, yeah, that does manage to deal with Glarb, and Glarb goes back to
He's
the
been
command
active.
zone.
They
That
just
is the
they
shield
just stomped
rest,
him. That nobleman did nothing wrong.
3 mana Ketramose, and now there might be a time for
This is-
Orcish Bowmasters
This
in
is
a moment.
something you could call a commander exchange. One
Yeah.
commander goes away, the other goes in, and if there are Bowmasters, they will be played, I guess.
I believe so.
The question is, are there? Are they there?
Yeah, I saw them. I'm sorry. I
you've seen
wasn't.
them?
No cap. Furre.
Frrr. Okay, so let's see if the Glarb is... No, the card has been drawn.
Okay, but no cap furre.
No
They
cap
are there,
furre.
but Glarb Josef just chose
They are
not
in
to
the
play
hand,
it.
not on the battlefield.
Is he the Lulu, or what was the plan?
I think we are going to see what is he fetching for.
Yeah.
He could fetch like for another survey land.
Could be.
Probably the Golgari one.
And
But it's Golgari land,
Bayou.
not the one. It's Bayou.
Bayou. And he says Bayou to the...
He says Bayou to the trespasser.
yeah.
But he needs to pay the ward cost.
Yes, he needs to discard a card.
No! You know what it is?
It's abrupt decay. He
It's
just chooses not to pay the cost, but it can't be countered.
Yes.
That is great. Yeah, it's abrupt decay.
That's
and
the
not
greatest
assassin, so-
interaction with the cards that have like some kind of ward.
Yes.
If you are using the cards like Abrupt Decay, Lithomantic Barrage, or
Yeah.
else just
Long goodbye.
Long Goodbye is really long goodbye.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Is it last or long? Long?
Long
Long
Goodbye?
goodbye. Yeah. Any kind of uncounterable killer spell actually just ignores ward cost.
Yes. Well, it doesn't ignore it. It just
Yeah.
doesn't affect it.
Let's not forget that the shiny card on the right is still Ketramose,
Yes.
which means that Ketramose has some value ready, and that is the Glarb being played again. So we shall see, but no lands, no value being
Only
drawn.
one mana open.
Thalia, Shieldred. There is just so much on the side of Ketramose.
There's so much going on.
Although only for lands.
Yeah, if you are not interested in the land, in that exploration interaction with Glarb, you also have the Witch Enchantress in your hand.
That's true.
And there is one of my favorite cards, and that's the Opposition Agent.
Yes, I saw that. Okay, Ghost Vacuum will just allow you to start just chugging cards.
Yes, and making sure that at some point the Ketramose is going to be active
Yeah.
and ready to
Yeah.
go for the action
Yeah, there's gonna be a card draw probably.
immediately.
Yeah.
But there are the 3 mana just waiting for your opponent either fetch or play some kind of tutor.
Yeah, there is a land, I believe.
Glarb has some kind of really having
I think
the tutors to make a small combo. It's not mainly combo deck, but there is combo inside it.
yeah, you're absolutely right. And the great thing in this position is that even if you have the opposition agents,
Yes.
but you can just choose to play the Thalia. If they don't play anything in their turn, you put in
Yeah.
Thalia, and you're just
You
running
still have
away
a
with
lot
the
of line
value.
of play.
Okay, the Witch being played as an untapped land. Okay, taking 3 damage.
It costs some life,
And
but
4 mana for Shieldred, I believe.
well,
That is an interesting sequence of play,
you
but
could have interaction. But I think that what you are trying to take advantage of is that your opponent is not having that much cards in hand, and
Sure.
is tapped out.
pressure is
Yes.
something that you really want to put up. And if the Glarb player doesn't really find anything useful now, I believe that
One land from the top, survey land.
Ketra Josef can really do a lot. Like Ketra Josef in his turn can just run away with it.
Yes.
Because the card draws from from Ketramose being negated via Shieldred are just great. And there is
They
pressure.
are not just negated. They are.
You're actually
also
gaining life, yeah.
There is Mystic Sanctuary,
Okay,
and
but there is not a lot in the bin still.
this is nice interaction. there could be like the trigger on the stack that allows you to put something from your graveyard on top of your library.
Yeah.
But before that, you can still look at the top of your library and decide it if you really want it.
That's true.
There is surveilling from the Glarb.
Yeah.
And it also might be an reaction to that Mystic Sanctuary trigger, but
That
I
was
think...
Duress, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, now we can see that the Ketramose is really cooking
Untapped.
with gas. There is so much in his hand. Just another card draw. And there is, Dismember as a reaction. And I don't see any piece of protection in Ketramose's hand.
No.
There is no protection for it. It will just be gone. Precisely.
Yes. And...
I think that the Ketramose really will just be gone. Like, there is nothing else that can be done.
Is it Ketramose or Shieldred?
I think I saw the gesture towards Ketramose.
Okay.
Yes, Ketramose is being dealt with. Now the card will be exiled. I believe that there might have been some kind of miscommunication because the card should have been targeted at the point, but
and there
all
are...
right.
Yeah. The players are just making sure which cards are in exile.
Yeah, could
and
it?
which
Yeah,
are...
we don't really know. Maybe it was communicated beforehand.
Yes.
It must have been. Then there are still a lot of options that can be done. Attack with shoulder, which is basically attack for 6. Okay, now I wasn't lying.
You are
I
not.
said the Bowmasters were there. They really existed.
And it's the beautiful version of them, and as I see it's some really...
Japanese?
Probably
Chinese?
Chinese.
I don't want to be insensitive, but I have no idea which one it is.
I think it's Japanese, but
Could be.
it's not in English.
Yeah, non-English. And
the army
it
just-
just jumps. Yeah.
Want to jump? You just want to
Sure.
protect your life total.
There is still the failure. There is still the opposition agent. There is still the toxic deluge that can
You
be
have
played.
so much going on.
Yes.
But the one problem with these cards is that your life total is really getting lower and lower, especially if you somehow manage to lose the shield in the
Yeah.
process.
If Shield Red becomes destroyed somehow, or just stops gaining life, Ketramose can really run into a problem. But on the other side, Glarb will have trouble with life total soon enough because the Shield Red is just taking a lot.
You are not just answering the threats. You are just stalling them and say it's something I'm going to worry about the later turns.
Yeah, but it just creeps in and slowly it gets to you.
Yes.
What is the last card in hand?
I'm
I'm
not
still
sure.
trying to decipher.
I
it.
think it might be something like Cataclysm.
Looks that could be the case. The last card next to Failure.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure what it is. Cataclysm sounds like
Cataclysm in its art has something like that sky ship.
Yeah.
That is also the old worded card. But I'm not 100%
We
sure.
shall see. Okay, there is the Enganjo being played as a land for turn, and now there is the option to just vomit out Failure and Opposition Agent just as a reaction.
Yeah, you don't need to do anything.
Yeah, it is Cataclysm. Okay, which means right now it is not really the thing you need to play, but it could be useful.
It could be. You could just keep the shield red.
Well, yeah, 100%. Although Glarb can help you rebuild with exploration.
If
Glarb,
there is a deck that doesn't care that much about Cataclysm, it's Glarb deck.
especially with
The Glarb deck, or with the Glarb on the battlefield.
and as exploration. That's what I was
Yes.
going for. They will just rebuild the lands. Now, hold on tight, dear viewers,
A lot
because
of
if this
lands.
goes to game number 3, we shall have a lot of fun still.
Yes. The game is still
Okay,
not
and
decided,
there
and
is-
this is the answer. This is good
Okay.
answer.
Now, do you like your Shield Red? Do you think that Shield Red would be nicer if it were a 3/3 elk?
Yeah.
I think so. I think elks are cute.
And
Much
the
nicer
one who
than
thinks
Praetors.
that- And look at the battlefield and the position of Glarb and Oko. It is full art version. They both are sitting on the throne. They both have the same position which they are sitting. It
Are
is
you
really
saying
interesting.
that Glarb is actually Oko?
Well, I didn't think about it since now.
Yeah.
But right now, it's Oko with one extra color.
It is Oko. It's just Oko. Look at him.
And look at them. They are just chilling, lazy lying, sitting.
Okay, opposition agent being played as a reaction to Oko?
Yeah, it doesn't do... No, it's in the reaction to fetching the Bloodstained Mire.
True, it's in reaction to fetching. Okay, sure.
So you get free exiled card, you get a free land drop if you wish.
Yeah.
And you get to see your opponent's library if the opposition agent comes through.
Sure, which it will probably... Well, there is still the Glarb, right? You can just play with the top of your library.
And you haven't surveilled. So
True.
you can like surveil and look for the answers. The question is, do you bother that much about being opposition agent into your land?
Yeah, just into a fetch land with how many lands is that? It's like 8 lands on the board?
Yes. Probably. Yeah. 8 right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be
You
9.
don't really mind.
So the Oko is here.
Oko resolves. And the opposition agent was just dealt with? Like, failed to find, maybe?
I'm not sure.
Maybe failed to find shortcut just
Could
to
be.
keep the game fast?
Yes. Because the game is not decided yet.
Yeah.
The Oko is pretty good. And
Did I see a force?
I'm not sure.
I think I saw a force. Although...
I thought I've seen Spell Pierce.
Okay.
But it's some blue card in the hand of the Glarb Joseph.
Yeah. We shall see.
We probably will.
Although, what I'm thinking about is the fact that even though the guys shortcutted, they should have shuffled the library of
Yes.
Joseph Bon. Because the fetch,
But the card right now
yeah,
is
we will probably
being
go
played.
and stop them because we need really to deal with stuff.
Yes.
The library, the library, it was shortcutted, but the library should have been shuffled because
Yeah,
it
always.
is not a May effect. You do just shuffle.
That's really interesting. Luckily, only Cryptic Command has been played from the top of the library,
Which
so
we will just
this
get.
can this can be returned in time really easily, just as we've seen on the feature match. So the Cryptic Command can be put into the library, shuffled, and lands untapped.
Yeah.
But let's see if that is the case. In a short period of time, we are going to get the judge really to decide, because it's not on us. We are just
Absolutely.
commentators. It's on the judges. We are just saying what is most probably going to happen.
Yeah, like I do understand shortcutting. It does make sense in some cases, but here the most important thing
Yeah.
is that Glarb Joseph can see the top of his library, and then they just chose not to shuffle the library because they knew there was something on top
The
that
issue
they
is
liked.
you tried to shortcut the whole situation, but in the end ended up with prolonging the situation, which
Yeah,
is
well-
not ideal.
Yeah, well, the problem is that it changed the outcome
Yes.
because there should have been a different card on top completely.
Yes.
Yeah, so right now they are going to go to the shuffle fail to find.
Yeah.
Is it or no?
Yeah, he haven't seen his hand. That's the issue. When you're playing opposition agent, you get to look at the hand of your opponent when
Yeah,
you are
okay.
searching in their library and you are in control of them. And that is really bad because you need to know which cards were in the hand in that specific time.
Sure. Okay, that was the issue here. Okay, understood. At least we are happy that we managed to resolve the situation without too much trouble.
The situation
hopefully.
is somehow being handled, so we get to just sit and wait and see what is going to happen. But in a short period of time,
It was a force. It was a force. I said so.
Force of negation.
You always. It is an alternative art force of will, but
Full art. Really beautiful. full
could
art.
be. Yeah, but regardless, this situation can sometimes happen because,
Yeah, because-
the problem is that Glarb knows what's on top, and it is
Yeah.
important for the deck. And if you choose not
Yeah.
to shuffle, it is actually for your advantage
Yes.
because you knew there is a counter spell on top.
So the Ketramose knew that was a force of negation in
Yeah,
his
this
hand.
might result in a warning. I'm not an expert on this, but it does look like a situation where, yeah, let's just shortcut it. But it was very advantageous for Glarb Joseph to just say, okay, let's just shortcut it.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not the judge person here, and it might just be an honest mistake. Absolutely, might be an honest
Might.
mistake, but it's an honest mistake that was very advantageous for him.
So if situations like these happen and you see it, and you don't need to be a commentator in the slot, you can just be the player at the table. Call the judges immediately.
Absolutely. Always, even if you're unsure about one small interaction, some situation, there has to be sort of something that happens. Now, we will get a short briefing in a moment about what happened in this situation, but it looks like it just was
And
resolved.
the cryptic command is being resolved, bouncing the shield red.
Okay, so there has been something done at least.
But if I remember correctly, the Glarb Joseph has nothing in his hand.
That's true.
The jazz hands are really the issue here because the Ketramose managed to draw some extra cards during the game and right now has more options to deal with anything happening on the board.
All right. Now, there is still the top of the library for Glarb and, the options to deal with that. With the expedition, you basically know that you can just, go through a lot of cards.
Yeah.
So it's only a card.
Get through the kind of bad cards in the situation because you already have enough lands and get to the good stuff that can help you end this game.
Honestly, we might even... I don't want to predict, but if this game goes in a way of Joseph with Glarb, it might be a tie.
It might be,
Because time is of the essence.
Yeah, right now we have 9 minutes.
Okay, so I can see now. The 3 counter on the ghost vacuum actually signify the fact that it became an elk.
Ah.
That was the 3 there. So it is an elk and Oko is being attacked.
And I'm not sure if the elk or opposition agent got to that throne of Oko, but one of them hurt him. And hurt him really badly.
And the other one was chomped by the Bowmaster.
Yes.
Now, Shieldred will be replayed, probably just to be there.
Just to make
there
pressure.
And also the Relic of
Progenitors.
Progenitors, which is a card that once Ketra hits
do
the
you remember
board,
the mistake that has been made the last game with Ketramose and Relic of Progenitors?
And kids, you should not repeat your mistakes.
Yes.
So let's try to not do it again. Although it's not in our power to change Ketra Joseph's approach to
If he
drawing
manages
cards.
to win, we can tell him in interview.
Sure. If he manages to lose, we can tell him too.
Yes.
I think we can just tell him.
And and if we are not nice, we don't have to tell him.
True. Yeah. It is sort of a feedback. Hey, you can just draw more cards.
Yes.
And it's legal. Yeah. It's not like, drawing 2 cards at the start of your turn just because.
It's not piracy. It's
Yeah.
not the crime.
Absolutely. Now, there is the elk. No, the food. Food being generated.
The food.
Yeah. Oko's feeling hungry.
And also needs to get some loyalty counters.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Actually, I don't think that Oko will be able to survive for long, but if it were to survive, I would really love to swap it for, swap the food for Shieldred or something. But that's probably not going to be the option.
It would need to stick around for a much longer period of time, and I think that the Ketramose is not making this happen.
Yes, and there is still so much pressure coming from Ketramose.
What really surprises
There is the
me
Shieldred.
that the Glarb Joseph managed to survive for such a long period of time.
Yeah, now I believe that players forgot to change life totals, but that just might be mistriggered from Shieldred.
Yes.
Because Ketramose drew a card and forgot to gain 2 life via Shieldred. Maybe they corrected it. Okay,
Nice.
That was just a small forgetful
Perhaps
things.
they've heard us.
I don't think so. The door are too thick.
I think they've heard my thoughts, thinking like,
You were
Come on,
you were
add your
manifesting
life
plus
total.
2 life.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
understood. Now, I can see that there is not a lot of cards on the side of Josef Lach. All the same for Josef Blum, but but there is a problem. Once Ketramose hits the board,
Yes.
there is the relic of Progenitus.
Yes.
And once Josef starts to do the shenanigans, and hopefully in a correct way, it basically means 4 more cards.
4 mana, draw
4 cards.
Draw 4 cards.
Draw 4 cards, let's be
For
honest.
4 mana.
Well,
And
yeah.
also,
you get a
along the
3/3.
side, you get active 4/4 menace, indestructible
Lifelink.
lifelink creature.
Yeah. It is actually crazy.
So, full swing.
Now, there is a full swing, might be even going face. Because, let's be honest, Oko doesn't really do too much.
Glarb right now becomes the killer of the opposition agent.
Yeah.
Every
okay.
noble hates agents, double agents in his court, and this one is making sure.
Okay, so there is a kill on Oko just to be safe.
Yes.
And there is also opposition agent just being killed.
I think it's
Also the
not
full
ending the
swing.
game right now, but it's kind of prolonging the
Yeah.
game, but it's making sure that the Glarb Josef cannot come back from
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. It's basically like closing it around Glarb Josef just to deal
And
with
this
anything.
is replaying the Ketramose.
Yeah, tails end on Ketramose.
Ketramose's tail will end for now.
Well, for now, but there is just 1 more mana, it can be replayed.
Yes.
And don't forget, there is still the pressure from Shieldred and from the Ghost Vacuum. There are going to be, I think, a card, 2 cards, 3 cards. It looks like Pit of Offering,
Yes, Pit of Offering might
which
be
exiles,
the case.
I believe, 3 cards from a graveyard.
The main thing why it is in the deck is because it exiles cards.
Yeah, but it can also help you because, Sultai really likes to play with the bin.
Yes.
So the Pit of Offering
So if there is something
really
like
helps.
the Snapcaster or things like that, the
Yeah.
counter spells, right now managed to get through to the exile zone and making sure they
Yeah.
won't see play.
Don't
ever
forget,
again.
there is still the Shieldred, which means Josef is at 9, and if Shieldred survives, they will start next turn
Yeah.
at 7, basically.
Nice thing
Which is exactly how much those 2 creatures can deal.
nice thing is that you do not rely only on your top decks because you can use the Glarb Surveil ability
True.
and look for some kind of answer from
Yeah,
the top
there is
of
the
your
food.
library.
Okay, he's gonna be a healthy boy.
Yes,
And
the food also helps to give you some time just not to die the next turn.
and a Fatal
And-
Push. Okay, he omnom-nommed into Fatal Push.
You feel like eating and then kicking some good big praetor.
Okay, and Gush.
Gush is being played for not
Gash
free.
with Mystic Sanctuary being returned, which means
Wow.
you can loop it.
You can loop it and draw a lot of cards.
Well, yeah,
Four at
with
least.
the exploration, it also helps a lot. This presents a nasty option.
This is
Although,
Nice.
forget not, once Mystic Sanctuary is being played, there is the relic. It can be activated to react to the whole thing.
if there wasn't the relic, it would be huge. But right now, there is both players, both users, right now need to communicate really precisely.
Yes.
What are they going to do and at which timing they are going to do that.
Precisely. Which I don't want to be mean to Ketramose, but with the approach that he misses some triggers, I hope he will not mess it up, because there is a way to make Glarb Josef basically lose the gush.
For all of you, our viewers at home, we need to remind you that the clock is ticking, and right now there are only 2 minutes left on the
Did
clock.
the gush just stay in his hand? That is okay. Yeah, good. It's like, sorry, honest mistake. I just wanted to have another one. And
No,
another
no.
one.
Right now it's in the graveyard.
Yes.
The question is, when is Glarb Josef going
And
to
actually,
probably return it with that Mystic Sanctuary to the top of the library? And is there a way he can somehow manage to the gush being returned.
Yeah, honestly,
when the relic is
it
here.
starts to look like Ketramose is losing pressure, and Glarb Josef is slowly gaining. I don't want to call it momentum.
So
but I
right
want to,
now,
yeah.
Mystic Sanctuary goes
And
through
there is
Gush
the
in
correct
response.
response. So all graveyards being exiled, a card
Yes.
being drawn. Okay, that
So we
is-
were dreaming of a big Gush,
yeah,
but it was just a small one.
but still, Glarb Josef still has a lot of cards in hand.
And there's a lot of counterspell. There is Force Spike. There is Loose Focus that can be replicated
Yeah,
multiple times.
let's be honest. Force Spike at this point of the game is quite hard to use
Yes,
effectively.
but the Loose Focus, when you have that much mana, can be straight up counterspell.
Absolutely.
I see there is Sorin on the side of the Ketramose.
That is a nice card.
And that Extort ability can really help you to drain your opponent dry. But you don't have the time. There is 30 seconds until the round
that's
ends.
the problem. There is not a lot of time. Maybe there was some extra time added for our players because of the judge call.
I think
they had 3 more minutes. So
the Sorin comes in, and one thing that really can occur right now would be the 1-0 win.
the what?
1-0 win that the Ketramose can
Ah,
win
true,
this
true,
whole
yes.
game, this
Yes.
whole round by just winning that first one.
That could be the case, honestly. Because and I'm gonna be honest, I don't see a way for Glarb Josef to just win. There could be a combo.
Yes,
100%.
Could.
But if
You have it.
If it's just an honest, trying to play and then somehow win, I don't really see any other way. And you're absolutely right. It could just end with a 1-0 win.
Which would be the best scenario for the Ketramose. The
Yeah.
best scenario for the Glarb Josef right now is just tying.
There is just an attack.
And at the round 5, it's not that great.
And there is Swords to Plowshares, Toxic Deluge, and also the Cataclysm still. I think the reasoning here might be the idea: pay 3 to play Toxic Deluge,
Yes.
pay 1 mana, pay 1 life, and just kill the Glarb. Because it already took 3
The Toxic
3 damage.
Deluge is here.
Yes. And pay 1, I believe.
Yeah.
There is the Spell Pierce.
Yes.
So pay mana for it.
And right now
Force
the
Spike.
Force Spike.
Yes, those work. But the life should have been lost regardless. Yes, and it was changed here. Okay, and no mana for Extort was left.
Yes.
And
And the Glarb turned out to be the killer of elks.
how come?
I'm not...
Glarb is a
Sure.
2/4.
Yes, I'm aware.
I am not sure how it happened. There might have been some other effect on it. I don't really know. Okay, there is the Death Rite.
Yes.
That's a pass.
But is it a card that is going to win you the game? Because
I don't think so.
in the seat of the Glarb Josef, you need to win.
yeah,
And if you don't win this game,
yeah.
you are
There is still
going
Swords
out
to
with
Plowshare. There are
loss.
still other stuff. There is the
On the
Cataclysm
side
as
of
well.
Ketramose, you just need to survive for the next
Okay,
few turns.
it's
And
just a pass, probably. Or yeah, a land and a Ketramose.
you try to replay the Ketramose.
And there is a
The
subtlety,
subtlety from the top
top
of your
of the deck. That is brutal. That can actually close the game. There is Death Touch.
we
on
forget.
Glarb.
He is 2/4, but the Glarb, the thing we are forgetting about Glarb has that touch.
Yeah,
So,
he's so stinky that he just touches you and you're done.
do you know the Amazonian frogs?
Yeah,
Those really colorful ones.
that's probably him.
I think that the cousin of
Ooh,
Glarb
okay.
should be some card.
And now Ketra went on top of the library
Yeah.
because subtlety.
that is all right. You still have those Swords to Plowshares, but we know what the
Yeah.
last card in the Glarb hand is, and that's the Loose Focus.
Right.
It hasn't been played, so if you
Although-
try to Swords to Plowshares anything,
I think you would be okay with them playing Loose Focus because then you play the Cataclysm.
that's true.
And when you play the Cataclysm, you know that the game is basically finished.
Yes.
How do they
Yes.
win from that?
We mentioned that the Glarb in combo with Exploration can really get back quickly.
Yeah,
But
it can get back. That's true, but it can't get back so that it wins in
can't
2 or
win.
3 turns.
Yes. Yes, yes. So right now we
Yeah.
have only a few cards, only a
And the
and
dice
the full
are-
information of what is happening.
And we were informed that the die actually represents the extra turns. So this is the first extra turn that they already have,
Yes.
which means that Ketramose really just wants to stall the game.
Yes.
That is the main idea. Just not lose. It doesn't look like they can
And
win.
I think that is why the Ketramose is on the top of your library, because next turn you can play it for 3 mana, use the Cataclysm, and then you have Lifelink Blocker, which makes sure that you are going to survive.
Yeah. And I believe that that Ketramose will just use swords.
So right now the Swords
to-
to Plowshares on the subtlety.
I would say to bait, just to bait
Yes.
out lose focus or something.
Let's see if the Glarb Joseph have the nurse from Steel.
We shall see.
He's going to lose some pressure anyway.
Lose some focus.
Lose some focus, lose some pressure. Is it going to be just subtlety or almost your whole board?
I believe that actually, regardless of what happens, both of these things end the game for Joseph. For Joseph Glarb, I mean, because
Yes.
you don't have enough
I
time.
think there is only one option for the Glarb
Now, this
Joseph,
is the second-
and that is trying to combo off.
Yeah,
And
and if
2 lands from the top of your graveyard.
that's nice,
This
untapped breeding pool.
is untapped breeding pool, yeah, because you are trying to make sure that you have as much possible mana
Yeah.
as you can get, just to replay everything.
Just to remind you, this is the second extra turn.
Yes, the dice the die on the
Yeah,
table right
it
now.
wasn't updated, but it should be the second extra turn.
We are
Now-
here to update it.
Absolutely.
Right now,
Glarb surveil.
I
Glarb
remembered
attack.
one interesting thing that happened.
Glarb attack
Yes.
and pass. Okay.
So you are going to have like only one more turn to win on the Glarb Joseph. Right now we should go to the
Okay, now okay, sorry. So that was a little bit
Our
off,
mistake.
but still, is it enough? There are just 2 attacks from Glarb Joseph,
yes.
and okay, yes, there is the death right. Yeah, let's
is.
not forget that.
Yes.
Death right can do 2 damage
I
each
don't
turn.
think you are trying to win through life totals. I think you are trying to win through combo.
Do you have enough?
But do you have enough is the question.
Now there will be
and
the
do you have the
Ketram.
right cards to try to combo?
Now, Ketramose being played.
I
3
think the
mana for the
Vendilion
Vendilion
Click.
Click.
This
That
is good.
very good.
Because right now the Cataclysm is going to be revealed.
Yes.
There is no way to interrupt it from the side of the Ketramose.
Yeah.
And probably it's going to be replaced with some card from the top of your library, because you don't want your opponent to play Cataclysm
Yeah.
right now.
Precisely, because if Cataclysm is
Or
played, it's
you
the
can
end.
you can keep it in the hand and use the loose focus. It still hasn't been played.
Yeah, but if you get rid of it, like, they have a good card
Yes.
when it comes to Cataclysm. You can just give them a random card and counter Ketramose, and maybe, well, what else you do?
You can
need-
counter. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You
you're right.
must
you can
do it
counter
this way,
Ketramose.
because otherwise, how do you win?
Yes, you can't win through the ground if the Ketramose sees the
I
play.
know we're talking about like a potential of combo win. That is always an option. But yes, and Glarb
bottom-
Joseph chooses to put it down.
And there is some new card
There was
which
a
we
card
do
draw.
not know about.
And there is the loose focus for like 1, 2, 3.
You need to 5
4.
mana, I guess. 5 mana is you need to
5.
replicate it thrice
Yeah,
because
just to be like
there is 5 mana open.
exactly. It needs to be 6.
Yes.
Like phase 6 basically. Yeah. Sure. So it is destroyed.
So Ketramose
or
can-
sorry, countered. My bad.
Yeah.
It is countered. Now
Is it
we shall
going-
see. Yeah,
Ooh,
the Ketramose is
there is the mystery card. It's the mana type.
mana.
Mana
Yeah,
type,
the mana type
using
just to
it's just
pay
to make
for
you
the
healthier
extort.
through the extort.
Yeah.
Right now we are in overtime, so if you are hoping to see either one of those players going to the interview, we must tell you bad news.
We are sorry, but they're not going to be talking to us. Also, I believe that they are going to be super tired after this prolonging match of complete grind.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Now let's see. This is so Josef Böhn has 2 turns to win,
Yes.
which is actually possible when you think about it.
It
because
is.
Vendelink deals 6, Glarb will get through at least once.
Yes, and there are also the activations of the
Of the Deathrite Shaman, yes.
Deathrite Shaman.
And then, honestly, Josef Böhn can just, attack with click,
Yes.
deal 6 in 2 turns, and activate the Shaman twice. And that's it.
Yes.
That's win.
It will be enough. So right now
I think
the attack
this is
going
gonna
on.
be one of the closest games we have seen. And it might just be a tie. The Vendelink click was crazy good in the moment.
Well, we've told you this is going to take a long time.
We
and
were not kidding.
provided.
We were not kidding. This is probably going to be the last match finished in this round. Yeah, we are sorry to prolong it via feature match, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah, right now at this moment there are only 2 games still going on, and this is one of them.
Yeah. Now we shall see what happens. Now, yeah, Josef just took the damage, went down to 4 life. I believe that Josef Lach really needs to find some crazy cards. Okay, so 2 more damage. Yeah, 2 more damage via Deathrite Shaman.
Yes. The
And that's it.
Issue here is that both players are right now 3 wins and 1 loss, and the draw is not beneficial
Yes.
for none of them.
Yeah, neither of them would like the draw, but I believe that it's still better for Josef Böhn than just to lose.
This is unfortunate because in this case, this is not how you want to be eliminated from the possibility to getting to top 16.
I believe that if they would just win the rest, they
Yeah.
can still get top 16.
With the 5-1-1, you're probably gonna get there, but it's going to be a really hard job.
Sure. We shall see, but I believe okay,
Yeah, the
right
hopes
now
are not dead.
it does look like a tie
Yes.
because it does look that Josef Böhn will just win the game.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't know what Josef drew, but it probably will be.
The question is, what is that last card?
Yes.
And the issue is that the Ketramose has only this card, but the Glarb has more
True.
possibilities because you can play the cards from the top of your library,
True.
and you're having really a huge amount of mana. So if it's something that can be played, you just play it. If it's land, you have the exploration. You don't need to worry about having 2 land drops on the top of your library.
Absolutely. I believe that we are going to see a tie here. There might be some calculations being done by Josef Lach, but I don't really
this is
see
interesting.
any way out of this.
I'm not sure how we ended up in this situation.
Is that an attack?
Yes, the lifelink
True.
is going on, and
And
this
a
is just a
land.
land.
And Ketra
trying
being played.
to replaying the Ketramose,
And that's it.
And both players right now
Yeah,
know
they realize
that the
that
flying
this
and the
is
Deathrite Shaman is
it's-
going to be enough.
Okay, so we saw a tie basically, 1-1 tie in between those 2 super grindy decks, which
Yes.
is something kind of close to what we expected at the
Yeah,
start.
sometimes this just happens.
Yeah. Honestly, we wanted some long games. In
Yeah.
game number 1,
Yeah.
it took, I think it was turn 5 where the first spell was played,
Yes.
which seems nice.
And also the turn 5 when the first damage has been spilled.
Yeah, it was via fetch land.
So right now this was the last match going.
Of round number 5,
number
and
5.
we are already probably slowly going to go to the next round
The
soon
thing
enough.
we would like to know about is the both players. There is still going to be somehow needed to say who gets the mystery sack and who
That's
gets
true.
the mystery booster.
Okay, I think
But
they
somehow they
managed
decided,
to.
and
they
we are
managed
going
do
to see the booster.
it. Okay, a cat,
Yes, a cat.
tied out, a thrumming bird. That's a
Drumming
nice
bird,
one, right?
Yeah, we've seen it. on the screen, and also as an actual card.
Okay, what is there?
The Sphinx, the land,
Ooh,
the Trojan
that's
horse.
absolutely great. It's a fabulous card in Commander,
If you
right?
like horses,
If you like the Trojan War.
yes.
Okay, and they just like split something,
And
maybe?
they want to,
Or just show it.
or
I
just
don't really
show it.
know what is the approach. Yeah.
But
So
right now we need to go to the fade out. We need to give you some time to take a break. We want to take a break. This was really a long game going on.
But-
we are exhausted. Players are exhausted. Everyone is exhausted.
Yeah.
We need some time.
but we will see you in the next one in a couple of moments.